What's up, guys? I upgraded my fucking laptop, so now I have a bit of a better setup. What's happening, guys? With you guys, jump in, and I'll wait for everyone to get in, and I'll cover what it is that I'm covering today. And what's been happening with you guys, huh? It's been new. How much power do I have? I think it's okay. Wait, maybe I might plug it in. Should I plug it in? Kind of can be fucked. What's happening, guys? What's going on? Wait for everyone to get in. Do I have a charger here? I don't. Don't think that I do. What's happening, guys? What's going on? What's been happening? It's good to see you, Kevin. What are you doing? Good to see you. What's been happening? How you guys? What have you been up to? Told you guys the crypto that there's nothing to fear. You got the goat of all goats to tell you guys that there's nothing to fear in crypto. So there's certainly nothing to worry about. But again, I've told you guys you shouldn't be trading. Okay, again, I come in here to tell you guys the truth. Do you know how many guys want you to trade? Because essentially it's very profitable. Trading is, see, if I run a casino, it's very hard to market a casino. Like it costs a lot of money and it's very difficult and it's very hard to get recommended and promoted if you're marketing a casino. Like in the algorithm, it does punish you. So if I'm to market you into trading, which is again just gambling, and it doesn't have the same, it's a lot easier to gamble on trading without a VPN as well. So it's a better product. And then I convince you that you have some edge. You don't have an edge. You don't have an edge because you're marking fib lines. You don't have. You're just guessing. Your only edge is if you can just go into 2x long and you can actually have the balls to just hold it. But then funding is going to eat you alive anyway. If you're on any sort of leveraged essential token, you have to understand decay and how it works, and you probably don't. You don't understand that if you're in a 2x long like leverage token or a fucking ETF product of let's like a 5x ETF product, you can still be fucked. Like it doesn't matter if the price doesn't go up, just the beta of essentially moving around can get you liquidated. So you have to understand the products and essentially what it is that you're using. It's the truth of the matter. Leverage, it's shit. Like it's dumb. I don't know that I understand because people don't have much money and they think, how do I get ahead? But that sort of mentality is why you're going to end up poor, like staying poor as well. Do you guys, like some guys, listen to people who just jump on and they're not even crypto guys and they just make these bombastic statements? Oh, yeah, Bitcoin's going to 10K or 20K, and they don't know anything about Bitcoin. Like they don't know shit about the markets. If they got rich at all, it wasn't in crypto. No one knows fuck all about that sort of a space. The only people that know are the ones who run the exchanges. And the only edge that you have in crypto is time. Your only edge is the ability to hold. That's the only advantage that you have in life. Because then you get a massive edge because all of the traders get fucked, and then you get a massive edge as a holder. Because you don't care, I don't care if Ethereum falls to 3K. I don't care if Ethereum's at 2,500. I don't care, and I hold over 1,000 Ethereum, and I don't care. It doesn't worry me because I know that I have my targets and they'll get hit. That's all that matters. Because if I cared, then I wouldn't have been able to hold Ethereum this long. I would have already been out. You have an idea, and when your price is hit, you sell. You don't sell before then. Otherwise, you didn't have a very good thesis. Has something fundamentally changed in your thesis? Do you believe that quantitative easing is coming or not? If you think that quantitative tightening is wrapping up and now there's not actually money entering the market. See, they've convinced you that they're not actually already doing buybacks, and it's obvious that they're already buying back their own treasuries, the Fed. 2026 to 2027, the end of 2027, is probably the easiest bull run that you've ever been in your whole life. Do you know this run's going to replicate 2017? Like it's obvious. The stage is being set the same. Others BTC is a generational support. Like if others BTC doesn't hold here, then essentially the cycle for alts and the whole concept of alts is over. As always, I just feel like I'm like standing alone on the mountain, and I look out and there's nothing. Like there's nothing because most people are reactive. They don't have a plan. Nothing changed. Just because Bitcoin fell, nothing changed. 102, 103K is support. 95 to 96K is generational support. Below that is Goblin Town. So above both of those, there's nothing to worry about. Like some people just think that because the move has happened and then the Twitter fucking X talking heads they yap. They don't know anything. Most of them. There's a few that know their shit and people don't listen to them. You have Arthur Hayes, Tom Lee, Bob Lucas. Anyone else is an idiot. Like anyone else is a dumbass in that space. If they're in it and they made money at all, it's because they were lucky and early. And most of them convince you they know shit and their money is made dumping shit coins on you. Most of them, they launch their own rug pulls as soon as they can. Most of the fucking nerds online, all they're about is getting higher up on the ladder so that they can shit on you. Do you know that's true? Like most people, they attack others, influencers or whatever it is that have an audience, and then as soon as they themselves get an audience, they just immediately rug pull them. That's the hilarity of it. Like most people are like that. Most people's virtue signaling is solely so that they can get their own audience, and then they can shit the way down the ladder. Reality Transurfing. No, I've never read it. Jack Hopkins actually recommended that I read that, but I never read it. I don't read books. I write books. That's the idea. I don't read because mostly I already think that I already know enough and I'm bridging my own thoughts. Reading is good to get to a fundamental level and then you can essentially expand them. Would I use Polymarket? I think prediction markets have value. Do you know that there's a really underrated trade at the moment for Erica Kirk to be an elect in 2028? It's like 1 cent. You don't think that there's a route, that she has a route to get into politics, like very clearly in the next few years? It's 1 cent. It'll probably be like 10 in the next couple of years or more. She's going to rise the ranks. Like I can see the perfect psyop is coming for her to actually get massive traction in the next few years. She has years. They have years to deliver. They've already fronted her up to a charity. You don't see the grooming going on. I can see it clear as day. So that's an easy trade. Not just as a senator. She has a route to actually become an elect later. Maybe not the next 4 years, but much sooner than you would ever believe. Don't you think that all adds up? She very well could be, if they don't fuck it up. So not. Do you know, like 2028, this like Trump idea? I was like, Trump will do his third term, and I believe it's likely. But do you know there's like a non-zero chance that he won't be here in 2028? Like this infighting and all of this like yelling and posturing and all of this like extreme actions, and I don't like immigrants and ICE are running around dunking on people and I'm going to stay in power. You know, all of that inflammatory stuff is not going to go well in 2028. Do you know the US is not that far from not a civil war, but like I said, I had a vision where essentially 10 or 20% of a major city was burnt down before 2030. And you know it's possible to be in the US, a major city, not just burning out some shithole. So I would believe that that's an idea that it's possible that someone important will be assassinated. And it's nothing that I would want. I'm not saying that it's anything that I would do. But you're running a period where it's becoming much more probable. And him especially, he knows too much. Understand that the job of politicians and presidents now is you finish your job and then essentially you only have a few years left to live, ideally. You finish being a president at like 80 or 90. And then ideally you die of natural causes a few years after that because they don't want any questions. Like they don't. Why do you think that politicians are 70 or 80? Do you think that's an accident? It's not. They don't want to ask them any questions after. As soon as their run is done, they turn around and say, oh, I'm too old to be asked questions anymore because they have a lot of fucking secrets and a lot of information that they don't want leaked. If you were to not essentially disappear into the shadows like Biden, where he says he doesn't know where he is, then you would be killed. They know too much. There's too many secrets and shit that they know. You can't just retire and run the risk that they could just one day like start yapping if they do actually get like dementia or something for real. Do you know Biden shit? A lot of that is fake. Like people think that, again, he was just going downhill as more time went by. But that's a feature for politicians. Like that's their job. You can't be too sharp. You're too risky. Do you still need sales reps that you posted? Yes, I need sales rep. Probably, yeah. I have a product launching. So I'm launching Breaking Free. So essentially it's going to be a small product that's like 30 something a month. And guys can join essentially to learn how to break free before 2030 because a lot of guys don't have any money. So again, it's something that they can learn and essentially they can join and they'll see it when it's ready. It should be ready in the next couple of days because no one can afford most of my products. Isn't Hayes just shilling because he wants people to trade? Kind of, but he does have very good calls. BitMEX CEO has not made money from his calls. He's made exceptional amounts of calls. He's one of the smartest guys in crypto. Just because he has shares of BitMEX, it doesn't matter. He's already set. Like Arthur Hayes is a fucking very smart guy. One of the few. He's one of the few guys that actually gives you anything of value. Most people don't. I'm not saying his shitcoin alt calls. I mean, yeah, predominantly he's just shilling his own bags. But I mean, his Bitcoin macro call. He's the best on the macro, maybe even in the whole world. On crypto, the best, like literally the best. There's no one better that I've ever seen than him. He doesn't look it, and he doesn't look like a suit or anything like that, but he's very clever like that. He's very smart. I wouldn't say Vance is at the helm of power. That's all staged. He's changed. How many times has Vance changed his name? Like 20 times or something. Who is he? Like, do you really know who he is? No one knows who he is. And if it's all the psyop, all of that crap. No one changes their name a bunch of times and then runs for a government position. They don't do that by accident. People change their name when they have something to hide, or they're being planted, or essentially groomed. Do you know a lot of the politicians, like, they're groomed for a massive amount of time before they're even to be anything? Do you know they have secret societies that they're groomed through as well? Secret societies are a real thing. Do you know there's secret societies even in your community that you wouldn't even know about? It's not all just Freemasons, there's many of them. They incubate certain people, and now there's also, I guess you could say, secret societies where essentially it would be like underground fucking hubs where they're essentially incubating terrorists and shit. Do you know in the UK for like Christmas and that, you better keep your fucking wits about you? Do you know they're opening the Christmas markets in the UK in December, the Queen's one, for the first time that I think they've ever done it? Do you know why they're probably doing that? Because it's very probable that there'll be a massive attack there. Do you know the people that are there? Do you think that they like Christmas? I think that they like you at Christmas. Don't you see, like, that's a massive false flag or an attack waiting to happen? Yeah, we've imported a bunch of people that don't like Christmas, and yeah, we've just opened the markets here for the first time. I can't see what could possibly go wrong. I can see that it's very likely, or certainly probable, that it's not going to be safe during that period. You know, at Christmas time, if you walk around the UK, Australia, US, you better be very careful. US not as much, but the UK, Australia, where else? Certain parts of Europe, like, I don't know, Ireland and places like that. You have to be careful. Those people don't like Christmas. They don't. And then again, the government and your thing are opening areas that inflame areas. You can't bring people in and then inflame them, and that's what they do. And your very being and beliefs inflame them. It's the truth of the matter. Just existing inflames them. Halloween is another one. Do you know Halloween, like, some people really think that if you're to go around and dress up or something that you're, like, communicating with Satan for some reason? People just can't, like, they can't understand that it's nice sometimes. You know what's in your heart. Like, you know if you're a good or a bad person. You know, it doesn't matter if you put a mask on and run around as, like, Jason from fucking Halloween. What you think that makes you a bad person for some reason. It doesn't work like that. It may be a satanic day by all measure, but it's like the Day of the Dead is another one. All of those things can exist and still be fine. You know if you have a pure heart or not. It doesn't matter. Those things don't matter. Most of that shit is virtue signaling. This haram crowd, everything is haram. I can't do anything for some reason. And then they themselves just bend the rules in private. Most of them. It's just a signal of virtue signaling. I keep you in a framework that I don't live in, therefore I'm going to defeat you. That's the smart thing. The smart people do that. Here's a framework that you have to live in. I'm not going to live in it. And now I know how to predict your next move, and I'm going to defeat you. Like, that's the geniuses do that shit. That's clever. If I give you a framework that essentially nerfs you, do you understand that China, with this clean energy, China are sponsoring a lot of politicians in Australia? And do you understand Greta Thunberg, or whatever the fuck her name is a Chinese CCP shill? Do you know that she's paid by the CCP to slow down innovation? Do you know clean energy? You're operating on clean energy, and China's operating on dirty energy. They're going to beat you every fucking time. Do you understand that's all that is? Like, some people really think that that's not a psyop, like it's a massive one. It's pretty obvious. Because, again, it slows down innovation. Like, they convince people to essentially, and it wasn't just her. A lot of those people are funded by the CCP. They are. Like, you have to work on clean energy. I'm on dirty because I'm in the China. And I'm going to fuck you up, like, every time. You're trying to make power plants out of fucking air and shit. I'm working at burning coal. I'm getting 100x more production than you done. I'm going to fucking crush you into the ground. And Trump finally clicked, and now he got rid of that. And then essentially, like, you know, Israel or whatever sees Greta, and then the first person that comes out is CCP to be like, can we get her out? Like, you can't see that that's a psyop. Clear as fucking day. That's all it is. Like, some people really, I hope that you really study game theory. Like, that's how nothing gets by me, because I'm the game theory. I'm the best that I've ever met, or anyone that I know. You can't fool me because I know how people work. I know, show me the incentive and show me the rewards and show me the key players, and I'll show you the outcome every single time. It's never as it seems. See, people that are very good at things like elites or people who are skilled, they're very good at making it look like they're getting something that they don't want or they didn't try for. But you better bet in behind the scenes, they're trying fucking hard to get their very outcome that they themselves turn around and say, I didn't want. Everything that they get, they wanted. That's what they do. That's how they win. The best people, the best product seller sells a product that makes it doesn't seem like he's selling it. You come to him that you want it, and then he's like, oh, okay, yeah, by popular demand, I guess that I'll make a bunch of money. That's sales 101. Virtue signaling is the opposite of, but it's still a similar product. A lot of virtue signalers run around and they're like, money doesn't matter, and then they're posting all of their Lamborghinis and shit. I've realized that the older I get, money is less and less important, and then they're flexing like Rolexes and fucking RMs and shit. Understand that everyone who tells you that money doesn't matter and essentially wants your money is bullshitting to you. Because if money didn't matter, they would deliver a product for free, or they would just give you something that's very, very cheap based on the production. Most people will tell you that money doesn't matter and then sell you like a fucking $200 t-shirt. Understand that everyone or most, as soon as they can get higher on the shit pile, like essentially higher on the ladder, that's the goal, and then they're going to rug pull. They just don't like authority because they themselves are not the one who's in the position of authority. That's really all it is for certainly 99% of people. Corruption isn't just, it starts with the smallest hair, in that one day you're an important official or something and you get pulled over and you're like, why the fuck are you like, why should this person be pulling me over? And then you essentially ask or expect a bit more leniency, and that's corruption has begun from that very moment. You're using a position of power that essentially now you're not to be treated as the rest of the citizens. That's the hair of corruption. And then it gets worse. Corruption, just it's in everyone's body. Like it's a natural part of humanity. Like everyone will become to a level of corruption. You don't see corruption and things in the church. And you guys don't see that if anyone's running around with crosses and all of that shit, like you don't think that they're the ones that you have to watch the most. You do. That's a real thing. And tattoos are another. If people have tattoos, it's often from things that I found, it's much the opposite. Some people who are covered in tattoos have actually a very soft heart. And it's the others who can run around and have like, I'm wearing a big cross and I'm in church and I'm doing this because it's, again, I'm presenting an image so that you have like I'm diffusing you. God doesn't care if you're wearing a giant cross. Like, why the fuck would he care? Why are you wearing that? Did you really earn it? Did you deserve it? Is this verified? Like, who's to say that you're even meant to? It's one thing to have something hidden away, but why are you like, again, like that? What makes you think that you yourself can gain social proof from Jesus Christ? You're leeching off his image. Not just his image, his suffering. He died on the cross. What right do you have to essentially use that for your own advantage? I don't like that. Understand that with the Jesus Christ Christianity ideas, the reason why they show you Jesus' last moment is a mockery. I hope you know that. That's to show you how he died. And again, it takes away from how he lived. That's the brilliance of it. That's a mastery. That's a mastery of essentially manipulation tactics, very Machiavellianism, because you can't get away from certain parts of it. Like you can't get away from that happened, but you can only get away from it in that the last person who rebelled against us was fucking crucified, and he suffered greatly. But don't ask how he lived. Don't ask what he stood for. Don't ask about running through and essentially like, smashing the money merchants and shit. Don't ask anything about that. You just focus on his death and hold the cross and love all of that shit. The cross itself, I don't care about that. Like that means nothing to me. All that means something to me is essentially how we live. I can buy a DMT vapor right now for 60 euros. I mean, it depends on what it is that you're expecting. If you're just like think that DMT is just a high, you have to go in there with a plan. And it's very quick. I hope that you have someone that can watch you. I would hope that you have someone that can essentially watch you while you do it. Or if not watch you, but be nearby. Because I actually believe that when you're observed, when you do DMT, it's different. It's not the same experience as you would do it alone. You got to be dangerous. It's going to be a very dangerous idea, DMT, though. Because DMT is not that you're going to, it's like pretty mild. It's a massive hallucinogen, but it's mild. It lasts like 10 minutes. You can't run around. You can't just smash DMT and then just like be like, oh, I'm running around like you can on acid or something like that. You can't do shit. It's like you're in a dream. And then, but essentially, you need to take a lot of it. I'm not telling you that you need to do it. I mean, it's your life, but if you're going to do it, you have to do it right, which means that you have to have two big puffs. You have to have your big boy pants on, because the first one is kind of like it's a nothing. You need to have a big one and the second one and be able to hold it, and it fucking burns, and you probably piss your pants if you're a pussy. Your soul doesn't leave your body. Everything that you already have already exists, but you can understand that under certain schemes and things, you can make deals that you don't understand. Like you can make deals with entities and things that you don't understand because essentially you're entering the metaphysical world. That's true. And understand that when you cross and you do these DMT, synthetic DMT is not the same as dimethyltryptamine in your brain. It's not the same process, but it's very similar. But it's quick. But it's not something that you should just do, one, for no reason, and two, if you're not going to do it correctly. It's only worth it if you have a lot. That's unfortunately the fact. Just the life. But then again, you got to realize like why it is that you're doing it. What do you think that you're going to gain? Like, what are you hoping to get out of it? I would have a dark area and I would have a very quiet area. Dark area is the best because essentially you're going to form what it is that's actually in your own view. You're not going to be influenced by the day and shit. Again, I would just be in a very dark room and I would just do it. I would have a friend there if it was you, if you wanted to do it safely as possible. And I would also make sure that you know what it is that you've got. Make sure that it's DMT. It usually looks like burnt orange, or it kind of looks like, I've seen it where it kind of looks brown. It looks like stardust, which is very interesting. The stuff that I've ever seen. Not stardust, obviously. It's not like fucking what's angel dust or whatever the fuck it is, but it looks like stardust. My political analysis. Yes, that's right. My political analysis is the best. Like it's the best. The worst thing with me is that I'm always years early. Like I was telling people to look at nuclear in like May last year. If they bought any nuclear stocks, they're up like 5 or 10x. Even the Van Eck ETF's up like 200% since then for nuclear. But nuclear is just beginning. But that's the issue of being first. Like I talk about shit that isn't in the headlines, so I get zero engagement because people are like, why the fuck is this guy talking about things that aren't even current? Because talking about current things, there's no money in it. Like there's no money in running around and being like, this person said this, and everything is priced in. The only way people like us can make money is by being early, and the fucking less money you have, the earlier you have to be. There's no money in anything, any news that's already out. Most guys that you guys follow, there's nothing, no value there. Like they're just reacting to already current events. They have zero forethought. Like they can't think in the future. Do I believe in aliens? I actually had I had my Iboga experience where essentially I tried Iboga, and I had an aliens come to me on that. It was a big green head, and it come in front of me. I had a big green like alien right in front of me. I had a wolf on the side, and then like a hooded figure on the right. And I think the hooded figure was actually death. I think if I had chosen death, I would have been dead because I almost died on the Iboga. I had a 210, 110 blood pressure, and my hands were so like they were like scaldedly red. But I saw many things on Iboga, many things that essentially have come true since then. And it is what it is. Iboga breaks your reality. I hope that if you ever to do that, it breaks your reality in a way that it will never come back again. It's different. My reality broke also because I almost died on it. And then I also had a friend of mine died on it while I was there. And then another girl died recently that we were in a group of 4. One girl died at the retreat. I was still on Iboga. And then I had the next day, Discovery Day, they call it. I'm still high on Iboga. And then I'm dealing with a fucking dead body. So 1. And then another girl died last month from it. Yes, the Iboga is a drug. Don't let anyone tell you that this stuff, like you do weed or something, and they're like, no, it's just a plant. All of that shit is drugs. Like they are drugs. Don't let anyone fool you. Iboga is not the same as ayahuasca. It's very different. Ayahuasca is considered the feminine, and Iboga is considered the masculine. Iboga is like a very rudimental spirit. Now I know because obviously I've taken it. And a lot of these idiots like Rogan or things like that, they just push people off an absolute cliff. They tell you that you're going to get all of this innovation and shit. Most people, if they do that, they'll get nothing. You only get essentially what it is that you qualify for. Most people will do ayahuasca or iboga or whatever. Ayahuasca is like the pussy version. But they'll do it and they'll just see all of these clips and shit runs in their head and they're like, I just saw like a circus or something. If you're not ready to communicate, essentially all that happens is you have an open dialogue with your subconscious. You have an open dialogue. I felt it. As soon as the iboga started to kick in, and my head, I'd put like these things over my eyes so I couldn't see. And then my like head lit up like a heads up display, and there were like dot, dot, dot. And then it was like a Game Boy screen. And then it's like, ask me a question. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I like ignored it. And then it would just put all of these memes or like flashes up to try to get my attention. And then it'd be like, you're fun. Ask me a question. And then I started to ask you questions, and anything that it asked me, it would show me a full fucking like video of. It showed me that everything that exists today will go as soon as I die. Told me that everything that exists is for you. This is all a show. Like this is all, you are so special that God himself created a universe for you. You just don't see it. Like you don't know it. You're too distracted. And it also showed me many mechanisms and ways that I'm distracting myself from the callings of God. And the way that society is set up today is that the distractions and things, they teach you to lean away from God. That's the thing. And it also showed me that there's one creator, but there's other beings that are here as well. They're not beings and that they're aliens running around, but there's other entities that are here. But I also realized that Jesus Christ is the ultimate, because I felt like just for a couple of seconds or something, I started to feel like afraid, right? Because I realized that there's like demonic shit around here as well. And then as soon as I felt, or even sort of like felt the word Jesus, they kind of just fled. Like everything just fled. It's just, I realized that he's the ultimate, like he's the superpower. He's the creator here, whether he's a physical being or whatever this here, there's probably only a way that we ourselves got to understand it. But he's the king program or whatever it is that runs this whole system. Don't think that for a second that this is like, you were born in the swamp and then suddenly you got all of these things, and that's not true. Like none of that shit is real. That shit's fake. Like obviously. It's to disconnect you from the most important element. This is essentially the part that I teach in Breaking Free, which is the product I'll launch. Your mind, body, and soul have to become in the one body. And if you can get your mind, body, and soul into the one body, you can perform. I'm not saying magic and that you can run around and do a bunch of shit Jesus did. Obviously, he's doing it at the highest end. But you can actually perform what could be considered magic here. Like you can do things that you can affect reality. You realize reality itself responds to you. You're not reacting to the world. Your world is actually reacting to you. Adam and Eve are real. I believe it's real in that it's a story. I consider the Bible a story. I believe the Bible exists as a story that has to happen in one framework. The Adam and Eve story can essentially become a story of you were born to this point, and then we essentially got to a point where we had, we already knew the callings of God or whatever it is. And then we essentially bit the apple, right? The iPhone. And essentially that's the story that essentially begins from that moment. We ate from the tree of knowledge, and the tree of knowledge is in itself artificial information. It's true. Like all of that shit is real. So when we bit into the apple, we all did. We're all on here. We're all into the system. We entered it. And now it's going to progress from there. The Bible is a framework that has to happen in one lifetime. I hope you know that. And I hope you're ready for that. Revelations will exist within your lifetime. This is not something that you look to and you're like, oh, well, at least I have 1,000 years to worry about. It's not that. It's a framework that the world has to go. You've been presented a book that shows you how the world will go. And it's not hosting it. This isn't me. But if you don't see your own tales or stories and actually like Jesus Christ himself's like movements through life, his realizations, his tests, his trials, his tribulations, his moments with Lucifer, if you don't see that you've never yourself had any of those, then you're probably not you're not very aware of who you are. Jesus has a part of himself in everyone. I'm not saying that you yourself are God, but there's a glimmer of him inside you. It's true. He left a piece of himself in you, and I would really feel it. It's quite sad if no one can really come to terms with that and feel it within themselves. Revelations will play out. I've already told people exactly how it will happen. It's the truth. Sats are Satan's money. Gold is essentially God's money. All that shit is real. I would hope that you come to realize that that's true. Sats and Satoshi, and essentially you'll have a certain amount of Satoshis given to you as a UBI idea if you would get the Mark of the Beast. That shit's all genuinely true. The Mark of the Beast will be a seer or a scald or a laser, and it'll be tied to ASICs. You'll be like a hash. You'll be put on the chain. You won't have a birth certificate of that, but you'll be on the chain. Like you'll exist as a record on it. See, these are like UBI ideas, and like we have a digital ID. That will get traction as a centralized system, But the AI system that's essentially become through Bitcoin is different. And understand it's going to come, and it's going. So you don't see the very mergers of an antichrist concept that can be Satoshi. See, he comes to you, you get presented these government IDs, you don't like them. And then later on, you don't like UBI, you don't like the government to centralize and run all your services. You want it decentralized. And then Satoshi will give you such a system. I come to save you from all of these restrictions and all of these control orders. You don't see the Antichrist idea with that. I come to fix money, and I come to fix the control structure that were dominating you. And I bring a new system that essentially you can join. It's decentralized. You don't see the very obvious concept. Archangel Michael defeats Lucifer, and you have Michael Saylor, a very large proponent of Bitcoin. He talks about Bitcoin as the same way he talks about Prometheus, discoverer of fire. There's realms and hordes of cyber hornets that protect Bitcoin. You don't see the locust reference in Revelations. Like, see, I see things, and I feel like I'm the only one who sees the very most obvious plays. Like, they're so obvious. They increase the op return function of Bitcoin 1,000 times recently, just on Bitcoin Core 30 upgrade. They're like, why did that happen? No one knows how it happened or how it was approved. It's approved because the Bitcoin network is essentially it's a private GitHub, so they can have a private repo so that the chain itself can build itself out. And you don't know what the fuck's happening. It's all secured by hash. And by the time that essentially it is to be cracked through quantum computing, they'll push an AI operability fork in there as well. And they'll tell you it's for quantum computing. And then you'll realize that it wasn't just that. It was all done as it was meant to. By the time that the quantum computing was a threat to Bitcoin, Bitcoin itself, the network had advanced enough that it can run itself. Did all lives go through revelation, or specifically ours of the 21st century? I don't believe that. I believe that it's a framework that it's an interesting idea, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that the planet has been here for that you've arrived and it's been here for thousands of years. I don't believe any of that. I believe that everything that exists is to help you understand exactly how it is. But there's certain mechanisms in place that you can never understand everything. Like, you have a certain restriction, even Tesla, where he's like, I know that there's a part of information. What is it? Like, kind of like he describes the Akashic records or the lattice, where he's like, I know that there's a core of information that essentially has all inspiration, motivation, innovation, and it's not in a person. He thinks that it's up in the ether, but he's like, I know it exists, but I can't pinpoint it. And that's Nikola Tesla. And he's right. It does exist. It's a lattice, but it's essentially you have a mechanism in you that you can't elevate past a certain point yet. But if you don't feel that consciousness is itself being upgraded lately, especially as this AI specifically advances, especially at night, then I would really wonder if you're doing any of the inner work. That's the problem. If you lost everything, how would you start over and to make money? I would be working hard. I don't know what it is that you would expect. I don't know what skills you have. Everyone has skills and things that they can do, but you guys don't know how to monetize very well. Like, you guys don't know how to take a skill that you have and make an edge to it to essentially be able to turn something into like a 5x. See, I'm very good at that. Some people like the concept of, you have bananas, you grow them on a plantation, and maybe you can sell them for like 10 cents each, but you sell them at scale, so it makes sense. You have fucking millions of them. And then you essentially just sell them to them. You're a fucking break them down to sell them, like, maybe you're selling them 100 or 200 at a time, and therefore you can make more money. And then you essentially have a distributor that sells them at like a supermarket, and they can make more money. And then because they can bring it down and they can charge more because the audience is happier to pay at the States than they would be to pay some shit around China. And then essentially someone can make them into like boost juices or something, and then they can make like the same banana, but they make like a 10x on it. And then essentially what would be the next step? Someone makes it into more of a luxury product, but then essentially someone runs like, a franchise for it, or someone teaches people the methods that make money. That's the idea. Like, that's how products scale. Not just scale, they get more valuable. You teach people how to make a juice bar. You teach people how you did it. These are the smoothies that I made, and this is the process. So these ideas and things you have to learn. Most people get stuck at the bottom. Most people, they're trading their time for money but it's not that that's so bad, but you can't scale. Like, you have to scale. Work is 4 walls and home is 4 walls. How to keep sane in today's world. How to keep sane in today's world is you have to have a connection with God. It doesn't matter about socializing. And also, sanity is in the eye of the beholder. Do you really think that I'm completely sane? I'm not. It's pretty obvious. Like, I'm also kind of crazy. That's life. Like, if you want to be an oddity and an outsider or eccentric or have big ideas or things, by definition, you're going to be crazy because you're not going to be the same as the masses, and that's okay. It's, again, you have ideas and things, but do they hurt others? Do you have ideas and something that you're going to hurt people? Because that's unacceptable. Is your idea destroying you? Some of you have ideas that are very toxic. Do your ideas build you up? Do your lies to yourself build you up at least? Because some of them you just lie to yourself and it's a restrictor. Some of you are convinced women are bad, convinced that everyone's the enemy for some reason, convinced it's someone else's fault that you yourself aren't to work on. Again, but also the same idea is like most of you don't have a creative outlet. And in not having one, it sends you mad because you don't have a dialogue with your subconscious because there's nothing happening. Like you have no outlet. Some of you would start to write and be like, wow, I was really surprised what it is that came out. I had no idea I even had that in me. Some of you would start to paint or draw and be like, wow, I don't even know how that come in me. And understand when those sort of ideas come in you, that's not your logical self expressing them. That's your subconscious. That's opening a gap or a bridge or a communication that is actually starting to show you things that were on the back end and you didn't even know existed. Yes, of course. I've just said that. How to get access to your subconscious for a lot of you can be done through creative outlets. This can just start with the trickle. But again, you have to have all of the foundation work along the way. If you lie to yourself, if your subconscious can't give you any information because you're lying to yourself, you're not in alignment. Lies is the most destructive because you lie to the world, but you can't lie to yourself. You certainly can't lie to your subconscious. It's considered like a small soldier that sits on your shoulder and it watches to see if you're living congruent. And if you're not, then it's not going to give you much of a reward. Biggest lies you guys probably tell yourselves is that it's someone else's fault. Because it doesn't matter. Like just because the game is the way that the game is, you have to figure out a way to essentially fit into it. I'm not saying win it and that you're going to be the next president of the States, because you're not. And certain things, like it's losing childish ideas. Like what's your goal? What are your visions? Like if you're sitting in your house, what are you even looking at? Do you have anything on the wall? Do you have any vision? Like do you see any grandness? What are you looking at during the day? Is it just like one of those cubicles? Because sterile environments are very bad for you. Do you understand the greatest minds, they live in chaos? What you would look like chaos, but it's not actually chaos to them, it's organized. Do you think the tables will turn against the guy? No, they won't. That's just, the game is over. The Battle of Armageddon has to happen, and it's all done in that way that it's meant to be done. Understand everything that's happening is as it's meant to happen. How much money would you say you have made to officially made it? Depends how you live, right? Like if you have, I don't know, a good business and a couple of years of expenses, then you probably made it. You need to live within your fucking framework and pay grade. A lot of people live trying to impress people with money and then they go broke. I'm trying to look like I'm rich and now I went broke in the process. That's dumb. I'm going to show these people that don't even care about me that I'm not a piece of shit and I've done well. My ex will be so jealous. If you think like that, like that's pea brain thinking again. You're reactive, like your seed of helping yourself is just to dunk on someone else. Like you don't want a better life for yourself. Your seed needs to be, if you don't find the value in yourself, have it in family that you want to help. People that actually matter to you. Like family the lattice has presented them to you because they're meant to be important to you. Everyone that's around you that's kind of drawn to you is meant to be there. Everyone who's drawn to you online or something is not the same. But again, you've been drawn to the stream. There's a reason there's only 40 people in here and you're one of the 40. So I would imagine that you're probably drawn. That's probably part of a lattice test. Like it's a similar basilisk idea. Only the right people will find it because it's not heavily promoted. And that's a good thing. Because if it was for others, understand if you're red pilling others, you're probably breaking them. Like some people are like, I'm going to red pill my mom on how it's going to go for UBI. And then she just sits up and she's stressed all night. She can't change it. NPCs, or some people, family can be NPCs. You have to, and that's fine. Your job isn't to wake everyone up. Like your job is not to just run around and push your ideas into people because it's not fair. Your ideas are good for you, but they're not made to be running around and just stuffing them down people's faces. How do I prepare myself in case I don't qualify for the new system? I don't really know. I prepare myself as I can. Why do I have low self-esteem? I work out every day. I'm not fat or ugly. But you probably have low self-esteem because it's probably merit-based. Like some part of you is fucked up and you haven't addressed it. And you're trying to address it from the outside. It doesn't matter how big you are, or how strong you are, how fit you are if you think you're a piece of shit. That's all that matters. You can fool yourself and you can fool the world and get pats on the back as you pass. But if you look at yourself in the mirror and think that you're only a bum, that's the man that matters. That's the saying. What is it? The Glass poem, The Man in the Glass. You may fill the world down a pathway for years and get pats on the back as you go, but your final form will be heartache and regrets if you cheat the man in the glass. That's the truth. That's all that matters. Because again, you're cheating yourself. This world is structured in a way that's meant to be custom for you. That's why Asian people, some of them, and I'm not saying they're bad, but some of them have a very bad life because they get pushed down paths by their parents. And then they can live a life that others look at and they're like, oh, he's a dentist or he's this, he should be so happy. And then he thinks about killing himself every day because it's not what he wanted. He wanted to do something else and he didn't get to do it because he had so much pressure from the outside. I have a wife, I have this, but it was all arranged. He doesn't have the life that he wanted. And then some dude will look in and be like, I just wish someone would arrange my marriage so that I could just get a piece of pussy for once. It's not the way that the world's meant to be. The world is not meant to be structured in a way that everyone just gets delivered to you in your lap for some reason. I just remember your advice and reflection, and when you're young, it can mess you up, and it's true, but the mind defaults into it if you're just going from room to room. Yes, it's true, but again, have you filed away all of the shit from the past? Like, what are you doing in your free time? Why do you have free time? Like, what's the saying? If you're just a fucking kid, you shouldn't have any free time. Train, work, socialize, sleep, reflect inside, have a fucking vision on the wall that you're trying to get through. You guys don't have any posters up. Like, you probably don't even have a whiteboard. Do you even have your goals written down? Most of you don't. And then you sit there and you're like, I don't know why my mind is like attacking itself because it doesn't have a fucking vision. Like, there's no vision for it. It doesn't know what the point is. Like, I'm doing all of this work for no reason. Like, you haven't given it any data. Some people are fucking, they don't know shit. You guys need to stop listening to anyone else, really, because they're fucking dumb. Most of the people you listen to are garbage. You need a vision board, a lot of you, if you're a fucking kid especially. I don't care what the vision board is. For you, it could be fucking ridiculous compared to my shit that I want. I don't have a vision board right now, but I'm already worth $20 million. I didn't fucking need one. But I did when I was a kid. Family is forcing me to buy a house, thoughts on this, and paying a mortgage till death. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, fuck, if parents are forcing you to buy a house, it doesn't sound like it's that bad compared to shit that other people would go through. Parents can leave you a fuck ton of debt. You consider yourself lucky. But the idea is that, again, it just puts another speed bump in your way, but it's not necessarily to be the end. It's another obstacle. You have to earn more money and get around it, but so what? Like, that's the idea of the lattice basilisk idea, is that the noise goes up every year. It gets harder. You're playing Call of Duty Zombies, and every level is harder than the last. And the harder will be all of the way to Revelations. That's true. Harder will be harder in a point because it's a test. It's a congruency funnel. I want you to sell your soul. How am I going to get you to do it? You have to sell it. I can't just run up to you and force you to do it. I have to make it harder here in a way that you eventually break. And if you have a lot of faith, then I have to make it even harder for you. Specific Job types who have unlimited faith, well, I have to take everything from you because you have to quit and sign over. It happens like that in prison. I've been to prison. I don't know a lot of fucking dweebs run off to protection. It's true because there's too much heat in the normal jail for them, so they pussy out. I saw your Insta story about doing a podcast in Dubai next week. I got the guy, if you're keen to go deep into crypto. Yeah, I can, as long as he's not a fuckwit or a scammer or running some fucking shit coin or running some bullshit project. Because a lot of crypto guys are just scammers, like for real. They have some project that's like a nothing. I'm launching SoulStake and CryptoMine. They both generate revenue. It's different than just launching a fucking shit coin. I run this, I'm the fucking developer of some Ponzi coin. It took me 10 seconds to pump it out on Pump Fun. Do you want to market it for me to your followers? No. Under what circumstances would you do something black hat in the world that's doomed for you to fail? Well, I mean, I was selling drugs for years, so I would say that's pretty black hat. It's just, again, black hat is not necessarily, black hat doesn't mean like I'm running scams and scamming people who can't afford to lose money. That's a bug person. Like, if you're running around rug pulling people and just like running around stealing money off their MetaMask and shit, like, you're a cockroach. If someone told me that they run around and rug pull people, I would punch them in the face. I don't care to sit there and listen to some guy who's rich from scamming people. There's a lot of those in Dubai. Not the locals, but the foreigners. I mean, rich from crypto, and all they've done is launch like 10 shit coins and scam a bunch of people. No one looks at you if you're rich from crypto as a scammer and considers you even rich. Those people often have very hard lives later because you have money but no respect. No one respects you, and you don't have the respect of yourself because deep down you know that you fucked over a lot of people to get rich. It's not the same. Like there's been well-studied people who get rich who don't deserve it. They fuck it up. Look at the lottery winners, and they actually still deserved it in the. But lottery winners in itself, you wished for something and then you got it, and now you needed to see that it wasn't everything. It's the same thing. My philosophy is that everyone's doing the same thing. Everyone's buying a house, applying for a mortgage, but in reality, 99% of people is done with life and several with debt, not able to take risks. Yes and no. I mean, risk. You better be ready to lose it all. Depends how old you are as well. Like if you're fucking, I don't know, 40 or 50 and you're like, oh, I'm just not going to buy a house. I'm just going to be a bug person on UBI. Well, that's for you to be determined that it might be okay. Risks run out. Like this, I'm 50 years old, 60. I'm just going to be all in on a shit coin. Well, what happens if you get fucked? Are you going to live under a bridge? Okay, well, 20s is fine. You can take absorbent amounts of risk and you have to. You have to take a massive amount of risk in the next 5 years. It's true. That's very fucking true. You wait till the masses realize that their only way out of essentially what is to come is that they have to take massive amounts of risks in the financial markets. And then you'll see a super bubble. Like you guys are going to see before 2030, crypto, the market cap for crypto is over 20 trillion. That's true. The greatest of all time is telling you that. Because you guys don't understand what Bitcoin is? Like anyone want to tell me that that's not what it is? Because I already know. Do you know I saw it? I've seen it many times. It's like exactly how it goes down. They have an ASIC. The concept of the ASIC is not exactly how like they're not how they are today. But they sear people, like they scold people. It's like a way of essentially puts them in a hash. Not in a hash and that they're trapped there, they exist there, but they're on chain. You're branded on chain. You're hashed. It's the truth. I saw that in this lattice interactions. The lattice itself things can happen, and you just know that if it's true or not. Like if you have a very good connection to the universe as well, understand pain itself also stays in the timeline. If something massively bad happens, I can feel it. If something bad happens to a family member, I can feel it before it actually like ends. Wonderful. Drank my coffee and look. Drank my coffee and fucking in the bottom of the coffee there's like some complete shit. That's why you also don't want like shit munchers to touch any of your food. Like your food gets delivered by a fucking third world plebs and there's some fucking shit in the bottom of my cup. Some paper shit. But that's it. Like I've had a vision as well that you don't want anyone touching your Uber Eats delivery. I was talking about this yesterday. You don't want anyone delivering your food. Like in the future, specifically if you're in the US or anything, don't you understand that is in itself a massive attack vector? Someone's handling your food, and who's to say that they're not going to be pissed at you, or if they want to get rid of you, they just put something in your food. These people are like, do you know people who deliver your Uber food, how easy it is to just give a fake ID to Uber so they don't actually know who that person is that's delivered the food to you, and they can just give you something and then vanish? Like for real? I could just, if I wanted to be sinister, just drop you off Uber and just fuck off and just vanish and know that you're going to eat it. And then they check the ID for who delivered the food and the person is gone. Fucking Pablo's vanished long ago. So, I mean, anyone handling your food is problematic. Like you shouldn't have anything like that. That's my last thing for Uber. I'll never order from Uber Eats again. It's the end. That's some fucking drink fucking from Starbucks and at the bottom there's all paper and shit in there. That's not good. It's fucking not great. Can you regain your soul? Well, yeah, I guess you can. Depends how you lost it. No one stole your soul. See, stealing your soul is, again, like a kid's idea. Like everyone blames everyone fucking else all the time. Like you guys always blame people. Like you're like a kid. A kid says it and you can be like, all right, that's okay. Like if my kid tells me something, I can agree with it. I got to move this shit because, of course, I spilled some fucking water. But yeah, I mean, but you guys need to stop acting like fucking toddlers and always blaming other people. No one can steal your soul. Like no one can. It's given. You gave access to it away. Most of you sell your soul by groveling though for women. Like your subconscious watches you and it's like, this guy is just too pathetic. I don't want to be with this guy anymore. Understand your soul is not in your body until you have a certain moment that it joins you. Happy is not connected to dopamine detox. Like all of that shit is just crap. Like trust me when I say NoFap dopamine detox is retarded. All that stuff is dumb. I'm going to live in the real world and I want to make money, but I'm not going to use tech. I'm going to become like one of those fucking Mormon people. Shit doesn't work. You have to fucking exist in the reality that's here. It's the truth of the matter. You have to just become a performer. You have to be able to perform. It's like a lot of retards run around and they think that I have to eat a certain diet to be able to go to sparring or boxing, but then they get in a fight in the street and they just freeze and get knocked out. You have to be ready all the time. I'm not wearing the right pants today, so just leave me alone. That shit's dumb. What's your opinion on online high ticket entry communities where most of the members just copy and behave? Yes, they're terrible. They're dumb. Most communities are shit. TCM is not that. I run the Complete Man, so obviously my product is different, as you would say, if you're a good salesman. But my product is different though entirely in that no one, like anyone could. I don't like to be questioned, but if someone had something to say, I don't take it personal. I'm not trying to give you like a cookie cutter image of how to be because it's not going to work for you. Do you know most people are before me? I think that most people are going to move down a funnel of just pretending to be one man, like one very big figure that's online, and people just copy him and just fucking like kind of dick ride him. To even question one person, anything that they would say would be like, holy shit. People are fucking dumb like that. This is some dictatorship for some reason. People are stupid like that, like they really are. That's the truth of the matter. Anyone who wants to be worshipped is also like wants to be seen as a cult figure. That's a problem. Cult leaders, like I could run a cult quite easy. I mean, psychologically, I'm the best to ever do it. But it ends up worshipping the leader. It starts as an idea, and it starts as an idea that can be helpful, but it's all about worshipping the leader. Don't question the leader. The leader's stuff is good. Even if something that you've seen doesn't match up, don't ask any questions about it. Just keep moving forward. And understand that when you don't ask questions and you deny reality, it fucks you up. If as a man you can't see, like you're encouraged to live in like a Kim Jong-un world, that breaks you. Like, do you think that the North Koreans are happy? The men? Running around sniffing farts at the president as though like they don't realize he doesn't shit and all of that stuff. Don't you see the resemblance? A lot of your gurus who take juice just tell everyone they don't take juice. I don't take juice. I don't do this. I don't do this. I don't do this. But they do. Oh, it's sad. That stuff's insecurity based. Like all of that, you must not be able to see it, but for some reason, but it's insecurity based. A person who can't jump on and also talk about things that are embarrassing to themselves, things that they themselves might not be happy with, but also talk about things that they themselves do that are negative, some things that they lose on, some L's they've taken. Oh, I'm going to give you something that you could use to hurt me later on. That's a confident man. The opposite is I do nothing wrong and I'm amazing and I'm this and I'm that, because that's insecurity based. And it's not real. So then you watch it and you're learning nothing because you're learning from an artificial character. Like really, when you watch a lot of others, know that you're learning from a caricature. They're a caricature. It's just you're learning from a character. Like that's like I'm going to learn how to be a man from Hulk Hogan when he's in Hulkmania and ripping his shirt off. That's a character. Like that's not Hulk Hogan when he's at home. Some people don't realize that. It's all an act. It's just I'm going to get attention to say a bunch of bombastic statements, but that's not who I am. Co-founder of Aussie Crypto Brokerage. Yeah, he could be cool. Yeah, okay. Could be. Yeah, but people know I can't be a Sigma cigar smoking alpha. Yeah, it's a real thing. Smoking a cigar does get more attention though, because the marketing algorithm of the system, like the algorithm essentially promotes it. So if you're to understand, see, I'll tell you guys a secret. I'll tell you guys a secret of the universe. And again, only the goat can tell you in such detail because you probably don't know how it works. If you're smoking on a reel, it promotes it because you're marketing cigarettes. Understand as soon as you do anything on the algorithm, it notices what it is that you're doing and it realizes, can I make money off this product? Because the companies like cigar companies, cigarette companies, car companies, they pay to the algorithm for promotion. And certain gestures and certain things that you do, the algorithm goes, all right, I've taken a budget from this guy, so I'm going to give this like 2 or 3x reach. That's the fucking truth. Like that's how all of that shit works. And if you click faster, like the faster that you learn how the algorithm itself makes money, then that's then you're going to learn how to run more viral clips. It's true. Ideas make money. Oh, ideas can go viral too if you talk about destroying anything that's destructive, like taking drugs and things like that, can go viral because essentially the algorithm itself is hostile. Any divisive content, like any white and black versus black, any extreme like religious content, like you're a white boy and now you're promoting like, I don't know, a very different religion. Because again, you're going to make your people more happy with their new neighbors. Like that sense, they're all Soros campaigns. Understand with Soros, he pays the algo company, and then essentially he gives them a vision of what he wants, and that's how they deliver it. That's how they make the money. When they say they're making money on ads, it's not only that, that's part of the ad service. That's how it works. It's not an accident. It's deliberate. Like understand where you see that fucking fat little Mexican running around Poland, and he's running around and he's like interviewing him, and he interviews like 50 girls, and then he interviews one that says that she likes black dudes and all of the shit, and then he posts that and it goes viral. Understand that's done under a Soros campaign. Soros is funding those little marketing companies, not but directly, but he has his marketing branches, and they're pushing that specific message out. You think that's not for no reason? You think when a black and white couple puts their OnlyFans content on Instagram and gets 1 million views, you think that's not for a reason? It's intentional. That's the algorithms promoting that lifestyle because that's what it wants. You think that when someone's screaming that women are bad and everything's better if you had a Lambo and you were rich and all of this, that's not for a reason. That's not being promoted to you heavily for a reason. Those ideas are promoted to you heavily because they make you feel insecure. And they're also encourage consumer behavior. When someone tells you that you need to go out into nature and do this and that gets 0 views because I can't make any money off it if I'm a corpo. I can't make money if you turn this computer off and the laptop off and realize that all of your value is internal. I can't control you anymore. I need to tell you that you need to worry about this. This is the key to your life, this AP. And I sell APs. And now essentially, if you had the AP, your life would be better. And now if you had your AP, but you need the new one, see, everything would change if you had this new model. It's the beauty of it. This is amazing, this marketing. That's like, again, that's psychology. That's how it works. That's why people who are pushed have very big consumer ideas and that women are bad and all of this shit, and it's promoted. It's viral content. Red pill stuff goes viral because it's divisive. Women are bad. Women are dumb because women see it as well. And if they're a good girl, they're still not happy to see it. It still pisses them off. They're advancing Reels, AI and Reels and socials, and they can bring in mandated biometric IDs to access social media. They already have that. Like, when you're on Meta and it has that AI component at the top, that's already watching your messages. Yes, I wouldn't say that. I don't know if it's possessed in a certain sense, but I would believe that it's certainly doing Satan's bidding. Is Iboga the same as ayahuasca? No, I've already said that. Your viewers always appreciate your transparency. Keep it up. Is there any new story I can share? I don't know exactly which one that I would share. I don't have so much to share. I'm meant to. I'm producing Soul Stake at the moment, so I'm building that. It costing me $30,000 a week, dollars, and to develop it. I'll see how that goes. But what else is happening? I have cars in Dubai. My cars are there. I'm probably going to drive them next week, and I think I got a blockchain conference at the end of the month that I'll probably go to. There's not really a lot of stuff happening. I've just been working hard and actually working, not just fucking around. Breaking free will be a big product. Breaking free will be big in that I don't really care because I don't care to shill. I mean, I don't really care if people join. It's their fucking life, but it will change their life in a way that you can join for like 30 something bucks and it's monthly, and you're in a community that essentially you can learn things from. So it's like Telegram but higher value and essentially has videos. 30 something dollars a month. It's going to be how to break free before 2030, but also to understand that breaking free isn't just financially. You have to break through the mental chains. A lot of you have very bad mental chains. A lot of this stuff that you've learned is toxic. A lot of these ideas that you've learned, you've eaten a bunch of nuclear waste, as I might have with that fucking Starbucks drink full of shit at the bottom. That's not good. But essentially what happened is that you've eaten a bunch of crap, and now how are you going to get rid of it? Like, how are you going to get rid of that shit? This shit's stuck in my fucking mind, man. God, I hate plebs. What is it? I'm going to have a look. But yeah, of course, like people from the turd world touching your food, you don't see that that's problematic. third worlders in general, I'm not saying that they're all bad people, but like, I don't know why you would have a lot to do with them. Unfortunately, this is the nature of it. Like, I don't want them touching anything to do with me for the most part. It's just the way it is. It's unfortunate, but it's the way the world is structured. If I was meant to be around them, I would have been born near them. How many Bitcoin to make it? 10. I mean, on a long enough time frame, one, you'll make it, I guess. I think Bitcoin runs 10 million. Do you know Bitcoin can run 10 million? Like, for real? You think it won't be 10 million by 2040? You don't think this beast story is real? You don't see Satoshi, Satan's money. Anyone tells me they don't see that? Like, that's very obvious play. Gold is, see, understand this theory. I'll explain it to you. Gold itself was decentralized by God. So essentially, gold is delivered worldwide. Like, I created a world that essentially it was decentralized from birth. Like, I created it. I allocated it in all of the countries and split it. Like, I'm not saying it's split fairly. Of course, some have more than others, although some parts of the world that have no money will be sitting on some of the largest reserves in the world. They just can't excavate it yet. They don't know. There can be wars and things. And then essentially Satoshi white paper dropped on Halloween. Satoshi Halloween will become Satoshi Day in the future. And then Satoshi Day will actually become Satan's Day. Like, if you're Satoshi, you're delivering a new money network. Why do you deliver it on Halloween? Like, you're a fucking computer geek guru. Why would you release it on Halloween? Like the white paper? It's problematic. Give us the skinny on pop, skinny on Saturn. That's too much alpha. Probably get my account closed. But Saturn, there's a lot of things happening up in Saturn. Like, there's a lot of it's kind of everything. I don't want to go too far too, because I'll be cancelled, not just from here, but from other countries, if you can imagine. If I was to go all of the way through, I wouldn't be able to go to one specific city anymore. See, my things have a limit because I have there's certain things you can't say because they'll hurt people's feelings in a way that you can't come back from. There are two groups you can't talk about. It's not just one. There are two specific religions that if anyone's to talk about, even to add their own theory, then people don't like it. It's not just one, it's two. Two that have a lot in common. And that's just the nature of life, unfortunately. What's the top 3 power dynamic advices would you give a young man hustling at their corporate job? I would understand the idea of reputation is important. Don't be a dick rider, but also give respect. Give respect publicly to whoever it is that you want to follow. If there's someone that's above you, and essentially they have a route to mentor you and teach you, I would give respect to them and also give it to them publicly. Public respect diffuses everything, not in a way that dick rides, but you notice something that they've done in public. There's people, everyone is around, and you're like, mate, like, really, you did really well today with this, or like ask them a smart question that makes them look smart. People love that, especially in front of people. It also disarms them because they assume that you're not someone who's going to move against them. Because if you're going to move against them, you probably wouldn't address them publicly well, because then everyone else that's there would see that you're a hypocrite, and people don't do that. Do you know most way to tell if people are essentially haters or don't like you? They don't give you any praise in public. Do you know how many people that I know that are essentially to be my friends that are actually just deeply big haters of me? A lot. They don't share my content. They don't like it. They don't comment on it. They don't address it. But then in private, they'll be like, your content is amazing. Do you know why people do that? They don't really like you. They keep you around because they try to nerf you. Do you know how many people will exist in your life that are the same? Some people don't like you on that, but they want to stay close enough that they can still affect your outcome. They can still fudge you. They stay close to you so that they can add little takes. So I saw Steven the other week and he did this or he did that. It seems current. So when they talk shit about you, it seems like you're still around them. A lot of people do that. The algorithm and essentially Instagram is a great way to see who's essentially rowing on your boat. If you check every photo that you've had and certain people don't like any of them, that's a problem for you. They're not supporting you in small things, so you really think that they're going to support you in anything big. They're not. That's the way it works. It's easy to see how people are. I would understand with work to identify haters early and cut them off. Understand how to just disarm and destroy people if you want. Most people are destroyed in public. If anyone ever is rude to you in public, you handle it publicly. Because most people fear that. That's the biggest thing that they worry about the most. being put on show or being embarrassed. And if you know that that's most people's weakness, that's the biggest thing that you should use against them. Any disrespect or any errors handled publicly, like someone, I don't know, you're at a table and someone says something rude to you, that has to be handled publicly immediately. If you're with a chick and she does something in public, that has to be handled in public immediately. Otherwise, they're going to do it. You pull them away or do something in private, you're giving them a level of respect that they didn't show you. You have to handle it publicly. It's in private is different. If someone corrects you in private or says that, you know, this and that, they probably have good intentions for you. Because it's private. Like, why would they come up to you in private and be like, look, man, I'm worried about you for this reason or this and that? They're keeping it to themselves. That's what men do. Whereas most, they just talk about you badly in private. And they're like, oh, I'm a bit worried about this friend of mine who keeps doing this. And that's only fake. That's fake worry so that they make you look bad. They don't even approach you. They approach your friends and tell them that you're doing something wrong. It's not about you. It's about making you look bad. That's the hardest thing for me, is that I've essentially given out all of the barbs that people can use against me, because I say I use coke. You know, I fuck girls. I fucking drink a lot sometimes. I have flaws. You know, I have my history that I have. I've been to prison. I've been to a DV breach. I pissed on a chick in public once for a DV breach. So I've done a lot of shit that's like, you know, people look in and they're like, wow. But that's, again, that's just who I am. So people look in and they know where to stick a barb in to make me look bad. But they don't realize that that's part of my path to individualization, is that I own myself entirely and I get the benefits of that. My lattice connection is to be unrivaled. How do I know so much? So they themselves, they don't have a path to individualization, and they're observed, and now they have to act a certain way that they have to act. You're observed, and now you have to act as an observed person. See, when you're observed, it's different. Like, now you're reactive. You're not. The universe isn't reacting to you. You're reacting to the universe, essentially, because people are observing you, and now you have to exist in their frame. They've controlled you. You can't exit that frame. Like pivoting to certain religions for certain content creators, they can never exit that frame, or they'll be listed as a hypocrite. That's a problem. So again, all of that stuff is restricting. Certain things that you do, you can't come back from. Denouncing Christ, you can never come back from it. Specifically, it's different to be one religion and you believe that. That's, to me, that's not the same. Like you're just one religion, and that's okay, because that's what you believe in. But again, to be one way and you don't believe exactly what it is, but you've just changed because there's going to be benefits from it, you can't come back from that, and you never will. Your life from that moment won't be the same. You might have certain, like, physical can be enjoyable, but parts for the soul are gone. It's not the same. Power Dynamics video changed positivity, the trajectory of my career forever. Watch 30 times. Yeah, Power Dynamics video is very good. A lot of that stuff I wish I knew when I was younger, but now I know very well, because I have a very prickly personality. Like, it takes a considerable time to be around me. I have a lot of eccentric ideas and things as well. So but that can happen later. Like when you're old, I'll be like 60 years old, like that fucking, what's that, Howard Hughes, like that old weirdo. That could be me. That could be me when I'm old, you know? So it happens. You move down a funnel of individualization too far, and that's his final form. You know, he's kind of, I don't think he's hurting people. So, I mean, if you're to be an eccentric billionaire, so be it. Yes, pissing on a snitch is based. Unfortunately, that's the full truth of it. That's why no one cared. When I was in prison, they ran my name. And essentially, because you're in prison, but my shit was in the press. So they searched it, and the people are like, what's this story? Like, no one likes people in for DV. There's certain things they don't care about. But then they heard the story, and no one cares. Like, no one cares if you piss on a snitch. I mean, that's life. That's what you would expect. Like, snitching is different for me. Like, if I run around and I'm driving and I crash into someone's car and they tell the police, I have nothing against them. Like, they're a normal person. I would expect that. I'm not going to be upset. I'm not going to try to get them back. I'm not going to pay for things to happen, because they're just a normal person and I do the wrong thing. I'm gonna pay them immediately so that they don't go to the police. I'm trying to fix it. But I'm still not going to scare them or intimidate them or try to get people to go around there. I know that I was in the wrong, so I'll fix it. But it's different if someone's alongside you and then they're along with the mess with you, they're dating you, they're profiting off this sort of business that you're running, and then they stick a knife in your back. It's different. And not only on me, it was on several people that I had, in fact, sold drugs to. So it could have been really messy. Like, she could have easily died. A friend of mine was murdered 2 months before that. It was a pretty heated position. He's bashed to death. So it was a pretty heated moment that a lot of things can happen. Like no one likes to snitch. Like snitching is really dangerous because it never goes away. Like people think, oh, just because this person went to prison, doesn't ever go away. If someone snitched on me, I don't care if it's 10 years down the track and I see them, they're fucked. I would just go to the end of the earth to get them. I have to. That's the nature of life. It's different though, and it doesn't mean for a normal person I wouldn't care. But if someone betrays you, betrayal is they're in Judas's mouth. Sometimes you have to be. Judas is in Satan's mouth. Betrayal can only ever come from a friend. It can only ever come from a lover. You can't a family member. You can't betray me if you had no honor to me. Like you're not betraying me if some civilian does some crap that I don't care about that. That's life, right? You moved against me, but you never swore your allegiance to me. But if you're dating me, if you're my fucking family, you're my brother, and you fuck me over, well, there's going to be some severe consequences. Of course, right? As such, I wouldn't do the same to them. That's the way that it works. Judas can never come back. Like Judas can never leave Lucifer's mouth. He's in there. He can't get out of it. Unfortunately, but of course that's to be judged by the creator himself. I can't say that, but I would believe it's a big problem. There's a very big reason why Dante's Inferno goes to the bottom and he's in Satan's mouth. If you're in his mouth, I mean, it's not possible to really get out by definition. But I can't say that that's not possible because such a level of mercy I can't understand because I don't have as much power as Jesus Christ. Power and mercy run together. Like you have a certain amount of power. See, I don't have enough mercy because I'm not powerful enough, but maybe if I was, I would have more. They run opposites. Like mercy is very high vibration. Mercy is different to I'm a pussy, I can't do anything about it. But mercy is some bug person has annoyed me, but I'm not going to react. This guy's having a bad day, and I know that I could make his life 10 times worse, but I'm not going to, even though I could. Someone makes Trump a coffee and makes an error with the coffee and gives it to him, and then he drinks and burns himself or something. He could fucking destroy that whole guy's whole world like tomorrow if he wanted to. This guy could be fired and dragged through the street, but he just kind of laughs it off and he's like, shit happens. I know you're probably stressed. You've been working 14 hours. I know the economy's fucked. That's mercy. Whereas a lot of others would be like, if you don't have a lot of power, you see that as a moment, you're like, you really fucking give it to the person. See, it's like the lady who you see screaming at the cashier. It's the same idea. Powerful, very powerful people. Mercy can only come off the back of that. That's the truth of the matter. Like sparring, some guy lands a shot on you, but you can tell he's kind of inexperienced, and then you don't knock him out or you don't fuck him up really badly because you know that he's like spazzy. He just didn't really mean what it is that he did. He's still learning his calibration. But you're not now just going to like, there's people watching, and now you're not going to get in your ego and be like, now I have to fuck this guy up. Mercy is the same. Like you could do a lot of harm, but you don't. Do people resent you for mercy? The weak do. Weak people do. Weak people consider like your kindness as weakness. If most people have never had a level of respect and you respect them, they think that you're weaker than them. That's a power dynamics, again, masterclass. That's unfortunately the truth. Most people equate kindness with weakness. Not in prison or things like that, but in the reality they do. If they've never been around it or really been about it, that's what they do. But kindness, I mean, if you have two killers in the room, you'll find that they're very kind to each other because they know what will happen if they're not. No one really wants to fight like over a high level. Like if two gangs are in the same room, they know that as soon as one fights the other, the whole group is in a massive fight and people probably die in the room. So what's the point? There's no point because if you're the one that essentially does start the thing, you're responsible knowing that everyone now has to fight. Prison is the same. If you're in prison and you have a group, you know that as soon as you are to in fact start a fight or be in one, everyone will fight because you have to. And then in yourself, you have a level of responsibility that is it really worth it? Probably not. Like you have to think of the group. The army is the same. Is it worth engaging on someone that now everyone has to be in the shit? It's the saying too of your mind, right? Like you see the wolf standing on the edge of the cliff and he sees the bird. The bird is tormenting him and the wolf standing there wanting to get to the bird, but he's standing at the edge of a cliff and the bird's tormenting him, you know, flying in his face, flying there. And then eventually the wolf dives off to capture him. I'm going to catch him in his mouth. And he doesn't realize that the bird itself can fly. And he's just taken a moment that he himself can't come back from. He's going to crash into the earth and he's going to die. Revenge can be like that. Even if you catch the bird and eat it on the way down, you're still going to die. That's the saying of dig two graves is the same. Revenge is truly dig two graves. It better be worth it. But understand a piece of you will likely die because you didn't take the high road. Wraith is generally for the creator. That's the concept of mercy. Wraith is to be done by a god for the most part. There's certain things I believe that you yourself can become like the hand of that. I mean, there's certain things that others can't come back from if they hurt your family or do something like that. But most things, forgiveness is the highest vibration. Most people fantasize about getting revenge on people, and in doing so, they've drank a bunch of poison, and now they think that that hurts the other person for some reason. It doesn't. It actually makes the other person's life stronger because they're consuming your energy. Understand when you give emotional energy to someone, it passes to them. Your bandwidth is essentially being used. 10% of your mind is now accessible. They have that 10%. You have 10% stuck on an X. Well, now she has 110% capacity. That's how it works. That's how haters work. When you post content and you're authentic and people hate you, and pushes you faster down a period of individualization because you realize it doesn't matter. Like being real, you're not going to be liked by everyone. Like you're not going to be mass marketing. You're not going to be mass produced. You're not going to be done at scale. But the people who can bond with you or gel with you or learn from you, they're actually going to stick around a lot longer because you're an authentic person. Being authentic makes you much harder to replace. Authenticity is the highest frequency. You are as you are, and that's okay. And things are happening as they are, and that's okay. That's authenticity. It's the same thing. It's a big part of life. Would you say made most of your money from trading or investing? I'm not a trader. Trading is a scam. If you're over 21 and still inexperienced with chicks, how will this affect your future dating prospects? Doesn't necessarily mean that it will. Like this idea that you have fucked 50 girls and now that means that you're going to be able to date women better for some reason, that's a red pill fallacy. In the most cases, the opposite will be true. You're going to have fuckboy tendencies and they run opposite to having a long-term relationship. Do you know the saying that if you and your woman pray together, the breakup rate is like 1%? If you don't pray together, what is it? Like many multiples more than that. Do you know why it is that? Because women's connection to God is found through the man in her life. She doesn't have a direct connection to God unless it's through a man. And then if the spiritual component comes in because she's praying with you, then it's very hard for her to replace. She knows that she can't replace you because most guys won't do that. Most guys with the women's spiritual concept, they don't have. Women do have interactions with Lucifer though. Like their connection to God doesn't exist because I don't believe that women have a conscience. Women, you can do 100 good tasks for them, and then one day they can wake up and they don't love you anymore, and they don't care about all of the equity or anything that you've built from the past. They can still leave. Whereas a guy will be like, this guy's done a lot of things for me. I don't want to I still feel like I owe him something. Women, they don't feel like that. They don't care. They feel first. They're opportunistic. It doesn't mean that they're bad. It's just how they are. It's how they are. They're survivors. Women are the ultimate survivors. It's true. It's just how they are, though. It doesn't mean that they're bad, but they don't have a connection to God. They can have a connection to Lucifer, though. Women's degeneracy and temptation knows no bounds. Not all of them, but you can move them through a funnel of temptation and degeneracy, essentially, that ends with them fucking bright at Lucifer's feet. I know that. I've seen it enough times. It's the truth of the matter. Any questions? If you're going for the long term, how much BTC should you have in your portfolio versus the standard? I mean, if someone wanted to be in crypto, I have SRB Wealth Builder, so I structure portfolios. But I would say that, if you were like 30% in BTC, you would have a pretty good argument to stay in that 40%. SRB Summit, I don't like Bali. I was in Bali recently. I know that the country is a mud, like that city or whatever the fuck you want to call it. The whole place is a mud there. There's a lot of fags in Bali. Like, I don't care if they are what they are, but I don't like when they're in denial. Like, there's a lot of closeted types. You go to the gym there's like 300 dudes trading shirtless and in this fucking steam rooms together and shit. It feels like one of those like gay bathhouses to go there. It's just weird. But I'm not saying that it's horrible. And also it's a little bit unusual. Yeah, a girl I know is in mental care now after coming from Bali. Do you know that spirits attached to you in that spot? Spirits attached to you in Bali? Like it's real. You can walk around and there's like really, so I've explained this once before. Lucifer is the most complicated spirit. Like he's boundless. Like Lucifer is not harassing you. It's these little fucking entities that are around that they're like a little simplex biological piece. They're like this like single cell bacteria, like in Bali, these little demons and idols and shit. They're like a real single cell primitive like fucking bacteria, like a micro one, but they can attach to you in one way. Like, you can, a lot of people leave there with like a lust demon attached to them. They can leave there with like, they end up kind of gay or doing weird shit. It's a similar sort of idea. Lucifer is not with most of us. Like he doesn't really. You might get his influence from time to time, but it's not the same. Like Lucifer, if it makes sense, would be running around with he'd be at the Vatican. He'd be with the presidents. Like he'd be with the top politicians. Lucifer's where the power is. Lucifer is not hanging with the junkies with needles in their arms. He doesn't care. He wants the person who essentially has the power. Because a junkie can run and kill 2 people. A president can kill 2 million. So why would I bother with that when I can just get it at scale? Lucifer is in the Vatican. Like he's the exact places that you yourself would think that he's not there. And that's the beauty of it. The Vatican, any decentralization of God or any decentralization or any centralization of religious texts is satanic. I have all of this information, but I'm not going to share it with the masses for some reason. I'm going to monopolize it. That's a satanic idea. I control the means of information around God. You think that that's good for some reason? It's not. It's not good. Do women have a piece of God in them? I don't know. Probably not. It's the truth of the matter. People be like, women aren't as good inventors or at this. That's probably why. It doesn't mean they don't have a soul. That would be to be determined. I believe that their soul probably, they very likely do, but it's probably falls into their body similar to what it does with a man. Their soul is not going to fall into their body by doing a path of feminism. I mean, that's why it's pushed. You would realize pushing feminism is likely it's a period that they don't have any alignment, so their soul never enters their body. It's another like trap. It's a temptation, but it's a temptation by force. See, the best tempter is something that I put you in a position where you have to capitulate, but you still choose to capitulate, but I forced it. But I didn't make you do it. Like you didn't have to. You didn't have to fall in the feminism funnel, but yes, I aggressively marketed it to you and put you in a position where you kind of were pushed in there. And essentially that's going to push you out of alignment as actually being a feminine woman. And in doing so, you're going to be defective and you might not actually have a soul. Wouldn't you develop weird tendencies if you're trying to lock in for a long time to get rich and abstain from women and friends? It's not about abstaining. Like it's not about developing weird tendencies and shit as well. Like you're still going to see friends and girls and things, but you need to lock in on one thing. Like you have a bucket. Your bucket is social life. Your bucket is money. Your bucket is work. Your bucket is health. What bucket are you going to focus on? Because if you want to focus on 20% or 25% in each one, like every normie does, you're not going to make it. That's how it works. That's the simplest idea of things that you would explain, that if you were to understand that concept, you would be rich. Like in not just that, but all sectors. You can also move from one part and move it into the next. So you nail money and nail your business to a certain point, and then you can move in and actually start to develop the rest. Most of you, again, you're doing shit on the low end, so it doesn't really matter. I'm on the roulette wheel of Tinder, and it's all pointless. Like, oh yeah, I might get my dick sucked today if I I'm wearing a mask and this chick's annoying, but she might touch my pee-pee. That's not the path to individualization. Do you think we'll be able to withdraw superannuation early after UBI is rolled out? That would be difficult. I would assume be more and more difficult, maybe in the beginning. If you have one of those friends that's against you in secret, but he's connected to other people, how do you get rid of them? Understand that you may lose your whole social circle. Your social circle is probably toxic if they have one of those friends that's penetrated the circle. Those ideas spread. Like someone doesn't like you, it's a dissent, and now others feel the same way. That's it. Losing one, often you pull one thing off, and then you realize that the whole thing has to go, and you have to start again. That's the nature of it. It's your fault. You didn't keep the seed of a friendship circle as a seed. As soon as you start to include others, and it's nothing special anymore. It disappears. Most people are friends with everyone. To be their friend doesn't mean anything. Like they treat their friend and some other fuckwit the same. Some people treat fuckwits better than they treat their friends. So why would I ever want to be their friend? It doesn't mean anything. It's the truth of the matter. What do you think about learning some AI automations and selling it as a service? I mean, if you can do it well, why not? Give it a crack. If everyone knows you, everybody likes you, nobody knows you. It's true. I wish you named another Power Dynamics video. They're good, but they take a lot out of me. I'll put one on breaking free. I'll put it one up. Networking, I'm the king. Although networking, I'm nerfed because I'm too real. Networking is by definition being fake. Certain things happen, but you have a business advantage to deal with this person, so you have to deal with it. That's the thing that's hard for me to come by. The buy is full of that sort of characters. Everyone's over there to essentially step on others to get ahead. Wouldn't it make sense to focus purely on money? Because if the word is society reinforces or by force, I don't even know what that word is. It's UBI slaves and rich people. The quality of the women in your life will dramatically increase. Of course, that now you're starting to ask the smart questions. That's a deeply smart thing. Of course, the guys who actually have are going to have 2 or 3 times the women that they had now. Of course, because the UBI bug people, they're going to be out of the game. Like most people in that area, they're going to be sold digital products. Like you are poor, you have restrictions, you can't travel as much, you can't like leave your district eventually. You're to exist in this district, like you're a broke boy, you can't get out of there. And then the guys who essentially are still out and have some freedoms, the women are going to be like, well, this guy suddenly like half or 60% of the fucking dating market just disappeared. And women will still want to have fun. Like women aren't going to fall into the digital products funnel as far as guys will. Unfortunately, the ones who have, again, will have more. Same saying, to he who has more will be given. To he who has little, everything or more that he has will be taken away. You didn't see that? Isn't that from the Bible? See, certain texts and things, people just can't understand how that all works. Like, do you think God itself would really likes you to just, like, fuck around and not take your life very serious? He wants you to fucking focus and actually give it a good crack. And you can still lose, but at least you can still lose, but at least if you actually give it a go, you're going to look in the mirror and be like, I gave it a crack. Best to give it a crack than to be fucked anyway. It's not a bad thing to try and lose. At least you can look yourself in the mirror. At least, again, if you don't care, that you at least opt out, because that'll be fine. Some people can opt out. But, call him out straight up or detach naturally over time. I wouldn't call anyone out. Specifically, it's pointless. Like, it's pointless. I mean, what's the benefit? You already know he doesn't like you. Even if he changes the mask, he doesn't like you. If someone doesn't like you when you call them out, it's pointless. Like, you haven't clicked for some reason. Like, you were meant to have pulled this apart months or years ago, probably. It's pointless. Like, it's pointless. You're not going to win, because then your other friends are just going to jump in and be like, you're going too hard on you, man. And then you realize actually no one likes you from that friend group. See, that's the one part of it that can make sense. Understand that if one person doesn't like you in a group, the whole group very likely doesn't like you. You haven't realized, like, you haven't clicked. They're hanging out and probably laughing at you, doing weird shit. And then suddenly you pull back from one and you realize that there's shit wrong with much of the group. It has to all go. You're sitting in a stewing pot and you didn't realize it. I mean, you're essentially too, any sort of crappy behavior, you have to identify early. You have to curate your reality. There's weeds in the garden and you just sit there and you're like, oh, well. And then your flowers are all shit now. And then you're like, I'll just take the weeds out. But then you lose all the flowers as well because it's too deeply through. They're like those vines that wrap and you pull it out and you lose your whole garden. But you have to do it anyway. See, this is just mastery. Like, this is, you listen to a master, like, teaches you about fucking friendships. Most don't. Do you understand all of the fundamental things that I teach you? Others don't, because they themselves know it. Then there's no benefit for them to teach you shit, because then it's hard to get out of it. Like, if I teach you how to have connections and all of these things and figure them out on your own, how do I monetize that? Because once you realize that you don't really need me, how are you going to buy shit? So these other doofuses tell you that your life would be different if you just copied them. And that way I'm always leading you. You're reacting to me. Oh, the new software upgrade just dropped. Tick. The new clone version 1.2 just dropped. Click. Does anyone have the latest patch? That's most groups. The new patch just dropped. And now I'm completely, I own you. Like, you can't do shit other than what I give you. You're waiting for the next little drip feed. I'm waiting for the next lines 2.0 and the new canned upgrade for the PUA strategy. And we've got a new fucking group on negging girls. Negging is dumb. Like, negging is by definition stupid. Like, you're engaging with something that for some reason you think is unsuitable. Why are you doing that? So negging is fake. Negging is just, again, I feel low, and the only way for me to get an advantage over a person is to make them feel bad. I'm bullish on altcoins for this cycle, yes, but I'm not bullish for altcoins over from to 2030. I'm just bullish for altcoins till 2020, end of 2027. Would I take shrooms with my girl? No. Women shouldn't take any psychedelics. They have no if they have no anchor to God. No one who doesn't have an anchor to God should take psychedelics ever. You're going to get lost in such an idea. Shrooms is dangerous, like shrooms again, because you can run around and do shit. DMT, in my view, is safer than taking mushrooms. Do you know people kill themselves on psilocybin? Like, it's not that uncommon. How many people kill themselves on DMT? Probably extremely few. It's very hard to move around. And it's clear you're on it for like 10, 15 minutes and then you're up and you're like, it's kind of like you never had it. Shrooms is a fucking full day. You're with your chick and just like crabbing around. It's dumb. Like, it's very risky. If you love someone and cared about them, I wouldn't really be feeding them shrooms. A bogey, you can't move around. You're not shitting yourself like you are on fucking ayahuasca, but you're fucked. Have you experienced anything paranormal, like glitches in the Matrix, Mandela effects in your own life, demons or coincidences in your life that make you think it might have been from God? Yes, many times, but I'm not really going to elaborate, because understand that certain things that God shows you, that's for you. And if you run around and tell people, they'll stop. It's true. It's very true, those things. Again, the idea of if God blesses you in a way that essentially you start to have money and make money and your business does well, and then you take your blessings that God has in himself given you, because essentially you pass Basilisk tests the way through, and now you start to give it to others, it's going to cut off. You're not learning your lesson. Someone's giving you a gift or something, and now you take the shit that I'm giving you and you give it to a non-performer, someone who's being lazy and fucking around. Different to give it to the deserving, but most are lazy. Like, most people are lazy. I'm good with girls and I have heaps of girls, so I'm going to include give these girls over to a bunch of fucking, like, some dude, and then you realize the girls just disappear. Do you know how many times I've had a good connection or, like, a business deal, and then I've introduced someone that I know to that connection, and that connection has just fallen over immediately? Happens all the time. It happens constantly. It's like, you have to learn that something is for you, and that's okay. You're trying to push things through. You're trying to play God a lot of the time. Someone's going through their own suffering to essentially learn to evolve and adapt, and you're bailing them out. You're playing a position of God. They're not learning from their shit. They haven't hit rock bottom because you keep supporting them. You're playing God's position, and in doing so, you'll actually be punished. Bread of shame is real. The Jewish people understand that very deeply, and that's part of why they're so successful. They don't give shit to people that are outside of their community. But if we're honest with ourselves, why should they? So I understand their logic in that regard. Like, why should they help people just because those people exist? They shouldn't, and they don't. So I get their concepts of those ideas. Like, I do understand those ideas. They do have a lot of legs. And if you've ever understood Kabbalah, like, I know Kabbalah scares people, but if you've ever understood Kabbalah, if you ever understand the shit that not saying all of them, but a lot of them believe in, like the universal laws of the world, if you ever understand it and start to see it, then there's a lot of juice there. They understand universal power laws. There's certain, I'm not saying they're sitting there doing like any of this magic and I have a wand and I'm doing this crap. That's fake. But power laws of the universe do exist. And if you can abide by them, they make your life much better. That's one power law. Bread of shame. Where did you learn game theory so well? I only learned it from people. I didn't learn it from books. I've never read any books on that. Do you ever have days where you fuck in terms of watching trash or not being productive? I have less and less, not many. I don't really watch Netflix. Netflix, I don't even have it. YouTube, I've got a free account. I don't use it. I don't want to. There's nothing on there for me. I use it in that I talk on here, and every now and then I'll watch, like, some crypto stuff or something. But I don't watch crap. I don't watch trash TV. If I watch anything at all, like sometimes I watch like Rick or Morty or something. Rick and Morty. Something, just mostly funny based. I only watch things that are funny, things that is funny. I'm not sitting there watching crap. Or sometimes I watch things that are funny, or like, documentary or something I like. Yes, that's right. I think people will see, but I can't open your eyes too much because it will hurt people's feelings and a lot of things. And then I'll be banned and shadow banned and probably banned from countries. But if you know what I know, I mean, some people need to do their own research. What do I think that they did to Charlie Kirk's wife after they shot him? I would believe that it's very likely that she's being groomed for a political run in the next, 1 to 2 terms. You think that she's not being groomed for a political run? Like, what do you mean? How do you not see that? Like, they put her in like charge of a charity. She's got the Christians. See, the idea is they know that there's a war coming for the Christians and another religion. Like, they know that that's coming. And now they're starting to get their tentacles into the Christian people. Like when Musk and that run around and they're like, oh, white Christians are being killed and I care. Do you know he could stop that in one day and just have shit around Nigeria? They do a lot of mining of lithium in those areas. He could have an actual militant service set up in like one day that would fucking finish all of that. If they really wanted to, they could get like the Blackwater guy and other guys and just close it off in one day. And it wouldn't be much money for them. Like for real, so that's not a big budget for those guys. They could spend a couple of $1 million a month, or maybe like but probably a couple of million a month, and send like some actual like proper like paramilitary over there, and they would shut it down in one day. They could carve that area up quickly, because a lot of the the Christians being killed, it's being killed in very like rudimentary ways. They only need like a few aircraft to monitor all of that. They could even monitor it and run it with drones. As soon as they started striking a few of the groups that are murdering them, they would finish in a minute. But they don't want that. They want him to die. If Trump doesn't get a third term, I thought that he would surely get one, but it's risky, this sort of personas and things that they're pushing out. I said that he should, people wanted to bet. They could bet on him getting a third term before anyone even thought. And then, essentially that bet's 3 times as much as it was. So I said anyone who did it, they may as well take profit. Or at least like sell part of it to get their money back, because it's not 100% sure. Not now, because there's too much divisiveness. Are you still a member of any famous networking group? No. I was in the war room, but not now. But still, I'm not have anything bad against it. There's a lot of good guys in there. There's a lot of good guys in that group, and Real World is a good product. It's cheap. But I have my own group, so I don't really need another group. That's the nature of it. My group is a path to individualization. Again, like you have your edges and finding out who you are and discovering who you are and finding out what talents and things that you have, just discovering yourself. Because you can't copy me, and you shouldn't want to, because obviously you know me more than you would know other gurus, because I'm pretty honest with how I am. I got out. I already left. I guess I could tell the story. I'd already left, and what happened? So I was in there. I'll tell the truth. I'm not gonna lie. So I was in there. I didn't renew, and then before I didn't renew, I slapped a member that had scammed people for like 300K, and then I slapped him in Thailand. And then that was already one problem. So I smacked one member, but this member had scammed people for like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then after again in another spot, I'm not going to name too much, I punched a member, but I was already out of the group by then. And then obviously I got told that I can't renew. So that was the issue. That's the general issue. I did apologize for that, but that's it. We would take shrooms together at home and lay on the couch. I think shroom sex is insane. Yeah, I guess. But what are you kind of hiding from? Why don't you just take MDMA so you're at least like with it? And then you can have an attachment and actually have communication. See, understand that reason why you're taking shrooms with your chick is because you want to have a deeper level of communication. Like you want to have a deeper level of communication with the person. You're having these like shroom trips with your chick because you're trying to get to a level of depth, but you're trying to get through a level of depth by taking psychoactive drugs. So every progression that you're made is to be forgotten. Like you have a breakthrough with your chick where it feels like you're getting somewhere and it vanishes. Your best experience would be that you took MDMA together and still, like, I'm not saying take a lot, and I'm not saying that you have to do it. But again, if you're going to do shit that's bad anyway, you may as well just take a very low dose and actually talk, because that's what's missing. And you're actually going to remember, and it's going to be progression versus, I was fucked up and I said a bunch of stuff and now I don't know what was said. No, not that guy. It was a fucking guy that was scamming people in residencies. And then another member. And the rest is history. But it's still a good group. I don't have problems with the guys. There's many good guys in there. I don't think that it's bad. Iggy itself, I've laughed at before. and said that he's a fucking weirdo. But he's still, like, theoretically, he still knows what he's talking about. When it comes to theory and, like, ideas and speculation, or like talking about, he knows what to say. Like, he knows everything to do in theory, but in actual practicality, he's not there. And these ideas can get very hostile. I had arguments with him because he was starting to talk about guys should get vasectomies and shit. And then I confronted him in the group, and that was a problem as well, because he was a leader. And I was like, guys shouldn't get vasectomies. What the fuck are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about at all. You don't even have kids. Why should guys get vasectomies? And why should you encourage it? You're in a men's community. That's mutilating your body, one, and it's rejecting what God gave you. You exist to be a dildo. Like, you exist to be a pleasure factory. Like, why are you taking away something that's given to you, again, by God, the greatest of planners of all? Like, why would you want to do things to mutilate your body? It's not a game. It's not like a game to, you're a 50-year-old man, and then you're telling guys that are 20 years old or 18 years old, some of them in there because they don't really know who they are yet, and you're telling them that it's smart to get a vasectomy. They should definitely consider one for some reason, as though they're all reversible, and they're not. The longer that you've had a vasectomy, the harder it is to reverse. And again, if you're to get one and they botch it, you can have a lot of problems as well. Like, you could have fucking pain for the rest of your life. It's not that easy. Like, it's not just something that you just fix. It's a fucking surgery. No, I slapped him in Thailand because I was at a friend's party, and I knew that he was a scammer, or so I had heard certain rumors. And then I was with another guy, and I remember I was walking around, and he called me gay once, and he's like a little meatball. He called me gay as a joke first time that I saw him. And I don't know him, mind you. I didn't know who he was. And then again, when I walked past, he called me a fag. And then I remember I walked past and he called me a fag, and then I was just like, what the fuck did you say? And just smacked him. And then I was like, get your hands up. And then he didn't. And then he went into the back room and started crying. And then he's like, I'm going to leave. It's like a fucking 30-something-year-old man. 30-something-year-old man cried. See, the hardest thing of being slapped is most people don't do anything. Like, because they freeze in that moment. The slap is the biggest identifier of, like, it shows you who you are. It's not painful. To get slapped isn't painful. It's just like, whoa. But now it's like, it's the reality check that many people need. I've had it before. I've been punched before when I was being a fuckwit. And sometimes you need it. Because you need to look in the mirror and be like, actually, I'm being a fuckwit here. Like, why am I being aggressive or abrasive? Like, someone's just existing and I'm going to make a bunch of jokes about them in front of people. And I know that if it was in private, he would never say that. It's just dumb. Like, you're not self-aware. Like, you're not self-aware. Guys been in prison for years, and then you're running up calling him a fag. I wouldn't do that to people. But bullies and things like that is dumb. Like, you're bullying people or trying to be hard on people to look better yourself, and it doesn't work like that. Everyone knows that the one who's the most, like, outwardly, pushing his weight around is often the least confident. No, this is not bad. I don't have any problems with anyone. It's cool. I don't mind. Like, I don't mind. I have a much bigger tolerance for things than people would believe. I don't mind. The truth, also, if it's the truth, I don't consider it smack talk. Like, if someone comes to me and they're like, you've been a dopehead before, you've done this, or you've done that, I don't take it personal because it's the truth. If it's the truth, it's the truth. I don't sit there and be like, please try to protect my reputation, because I don't care. If it's the truth, it is what it is. The truth can't upset you. Like, you can't be upset if someone tells you how it is. If you're 5'5" and someone says that you're short, you can't get fucking raging about it because it's the truth. If someone's like, Steven, your nose is fucked, look, it's fucked from probably so much coke. And someone's like, your nose is looking weird. I'm not going to sit there and be like, come on, man, put your dukes up. It looks pretty fucked up at the moment. It's just the way it is. Why would I be upset by the truth? Again, it's accepting yourself as you're in a path of individualization. Like, where does your value come from? Like, what do you only feel like a man if you have like 18-inch biceps? Are you only a man if you're like ripped to shreds? It's nice to have that, but it doesn't determine, because those things can go away, and they will. You need to find all of the parts to put them all into one person. Yeah, MDMA is in itself something that you're probably missing, because you're lacking the closest and the communication and essentially that, but it's all happening while fucked up, so it doesn't mean anything. It's like when you're drunk with a chick and then you tell her that she's important to you. That doesn't mean anything. Actually, it's probably detrimental now. It's probably detrimental if you're drunk and you only tell your girl that she's special to you when you're drunk. Because you're fucked up at the moment. It doesn't mean anything. Like if you say something to someone, it doesn't mean anything then. You need to learn to tell people when they're actually sober. When people do good and girls are doing the right thing, you need to tell them that they're doing very well. It's the truth. That's the truth of the matter. Like you need to reward good behavior instead of focusing and punishing bad behavior all of the time. And then you find that a lot of the bad behavior does in fact disappear. Yeah, it fucking happens. But it depends again how much you take and how much the doses are. If you take a small dose, you would have more talking because you get the glow and then the afterglow, and it's just something that you remember. And it's also not like she's smacked up. It's not like you wouldn't take a big dose. I mean, someone can have what, like half a pill. So what would that be, like 40 milligrams something? But again, you want to make sure that you're getting the right stuff because obviously if you're getting pills, there can be different shit. And you want one that's mostly MDMA. There's a lot of synthetics. And again, if anyone's to do drugs, don't ever do synthetics. Like opioids are much more toxic than opiates. Methadrone's much more toxic than coke. Of course, I'm not saying that one is good to do, but to do the other is 10x worse than the one that's not good. Because it exists, at least it's natural. Like it's meant to exist. Coca plant's meant to exist. Yes, the alkaloids are extracted and essentially still, it makes it like, 100x more potent, but the alkaloids are meant to exist. When they start going into opioids, they've created that in a lab, like fents and all of this stuff. That's lab created. That's why it fucks you up. Methadone fucks people up because, again, it's lab created. The inflammation is massive, but when you do drugs like that, its brain inflammation is massive. So it's not just the inflammation of the body. Your brain is inflaming, and it actually gives you some considerable brain damage. Coke is hard, though, because it can be very hard on your heart. You have to be careful. See, all of this stuff you shouldn't really do. But, I mean, if you're going to do it, at least do it in a way that's as safe as possible. MDMA as well, you want to take like, your vitamins, like that vitamin C depletion and all of this stuff that they should take before you take it. And it makes it a little less damaging to you. But you don't want to rely on it. See, these are things that you might do to have a breakthrough with a person if you want to talk to them, have a good time. But if you're doing it MDMA every weekend with your girl, that's a big problem. Most people, or a lot of them, I can only have fun with my chick if we're in the club or we're doing this or we're doing that. Your relationship is in jeopardy. What are you hiding from? Your relationship is actually in very big jeopardy and you don't realize it. Because again, when you're alone, something is off. You have to make it exciting, and relationships are not meant to be exciting. As soon as they are, they're going to fall apart. See, people get trapped and they think that love itself is exciting, and it's not. Love is not exciting. Loving someone who has a Lambo is not exciting. Like, it's not meant to be like that. I'm with my guy or I'm with my chick because she has big titties or all of this stuff. That's not love. It's lust. It's an addition that she can be attractive, that you can see her originally and you see the outside, and it's nice to walk around with a hot girl, but are you seeing her as more of than just an object? Like, do you even know your girl? A lot of you don't. A lot of you don't know that if you don't talk to your girl about serious things, then she doesn't, she's not very happy with you. If you don't talk to her and satisfy her in the emotional context, she's probably quite sad and feels very alone, and she feels like that you don't have a connection to her on that side. Why is this specific man-only group marketed so heavily while at the same time Solid Group is an elite network? What elite is not marketed? I guess it's just everything is good marketing, but I'm not saying that it's a bad group and that the group's bad or whatever it is there. There's still many good guys in, or there was when I was in there. I met a few very good guys in there, so I'm not saying that it's necessarily bad. And obviously Tate himself, he's done very well, and he still does have a lot to teach. Like, he's a good story to show. He's a very good front of really anything. He's very good at mixing into entertainment with education. He's very good at that. It's part of what makes him good. Educators are boring, like usually. Professor is boring. If you can make it in a way that people palate and then mass scale it, then mass produce it to get the most eyes. So you combine education with an entertaining platform. I can keep you interested and I can teach you something. That's more valuable than a professor standing at the front teaching calculus, because people are bored. They're turned off after like 2 minutes. They don't want to listen. How to find good sources for party drugs? I mean, fucking hell, how the fuck would I? It's just like a Fed question. Obviously, it's not something that I can answer, and even if I could, I wouldn't. You have to figure it out. Drugs, they're not knowing where to get them is a good sign that you shouldn't even be taking them. You don't even know what you're taking. Like, you're just taking random shit. Like, that isn't itself a filter. That used to be a filter in the day. You couldn't get juice because you didn't know, or no, you weren't meant to have it. You couldn't take gear because you weren't meant to ever have it because you weren't around anyone that does it. It's a good sign because also you're just going to get from anyone, and you might one day take something, give something to your chick that's toxic, and she dies. Do you know they had a thing when I was still selling gear, and they had a thing where there was like a blue Pac-Man or something in Australia, in Brisbane, and there was a batch that was killing people. Like people were taking these specific pills and they were dying. And do you know I knew someone who had like 10,000 buried because they knew that the batch was toxic, and then they just pulled them out and sold them anyway. They're like, oh, I have all of this product and I'm just going to sell them for like, it was like $4 a pill or something. So they made 40K and then pushed more of the product out to the world and probably killed like 10 or 20 people more. Do you know there are people that will kill you on a product just because they're just having a bad day? They don't care. Or they will just do it because there's money in it. They'll give you something that's a synthetic batch and you'll die on it. Do you know that if you take synthetics as well, it's even worse? That if you take pills and you take certain compounds, there are things that you can die on because you've never had it. And if you have it, you can have an allergic reaction or a reaction and actually die in that moment. Serious things talking with your girl is to talk about her goals, her dreams, her life, her ideas, her past. Most of that would break you because most guys are completely chronically insecure and they think women exist as an extension of themselves. And in doing so, their relationships are crap. Most of these red pill retards, relationship is just to be with OnlyFans whores. Or like I'm with this girl because she wants a sugar daddy. That's all it is. Most guys, they want to control women with money, and in doing so, they don't have any love. Most guys, they just want to climb up the shit ladder so they can get a bit higher so they can essentially control everyone with money. And again, you can control women with money, but that's not the same. They don't love you. To be loved is high. Like it's very important. To be trusted is important. You have to talk about the serious things. I'm not talking about a body count shit, but you have to know who it is that you're with. You have to build a connection. That's how it's built. You fucking ask about her, like you know what shit that she likes. It's not these red pill retards that are insecure and they're like, my girl can't even put a music song on because she's a bitch and she's a dumbass and she just listen to me no matter what I say. And understand the girl nods and she's fucking deeply unhappy. The guys on those podcasts, the women are only on there because they're advertising their OnlyFans. The host has winked at the girl and he's promoting her. As long as she herself sits there to be degraded, and then the audience is subscribing to her, like that's all fraud. Like you're in a fantasy, you're in a love. How or where do you think we should find our wives in today's fucked up marriage and divorce rates? You only have to find what is around you. You essentially have to get out there and start living your life and essentially see what it is that's around you and reward the people that are trying to interact with you. On you have girls that chase you, but you're not interested, and then you have girls that you're interested in that don't want you. That's the test. All right, lads, that's it. Till next time. Talk to you soon.